The Republican Party is cracking in real time, and the latest fracture comes from none other than Senator Ted Cruz, the GOP's ultimate opportunist and part-time Trump sycophant. And coming up next, I have the full breakdown on his stunning new break from Donald Trump. Since this report centers on Cruz, let's start with what's rattling around his head right now. You may not know that he has a podcast. I didn't, but after watching just a moment of it, I was blown away by how much blatant propaganda he manages to cram into it. Allow me to break down what I saw, and then I'll show you his betrayal of Trump and J.D. Vance.
And we deal with Donald Trump saying, all right, Democrats, you want the Epstein's files? Let's do it. And by the way, we're also going to investigate many of the shady people that were around Epstein. That includes the big name Bill Clinton as well.
Well, this weekend, President Trump sent out a tweet. He called on House Republicans, release the Epstein files. Let's put this behind this. Epstein was a Democrat donor. There were multiple Democrats who were deeply involved with Epstein. The Democrats are panicking right now. We break it all down.
Epstein was a Democrat is one of the newest comical talking points by Trump. And no one thinks the Democrats are panicked over Epstein. Come on, Ted, what else have you got?
We also talk about the fact that the polling numbers have come back, and it is now conclusive. Republicans won the shutdown. Democrats lost. They're facing an absolute civil war.
That was some Trump-level projection. The Democrats were already a mess before the shutdown, and Trump was as popular as ever. But between the shutdown, his tariffs, and Epstein, the polling shows he has lost his grip on the American people and is losing his grip on the Republican Party Cruz belongs to.
And finally, we talk about Michelle Obama, who just explained that she... The reason she's not going to run for president is that the American people are bigots and misogynists. That's why Kamala Harris lost. And she basically explains, and not even basically, she does say, the American people need to grow up. You're not mature enough to elect Michelle Obama. It is arrogant as all get out, and we break it all down in today's podcast.
We don't deserve Michelle. That's what it boils down to.
Not all of the United States is bigoted, but one of the parties has provided a safe space for racists and their dark thoughts, and their numbers are significant. Significant enough to keep a black woman from being president for sure. So Ted just parroted many of Trump's talking points in order to remain relevant in the party of Trump. But he can also see what's happening and what's coming, and he's circling like a shark. And that brings us to our breaking story that really speaks of his opportunistic nature with a move against Trump and Vance. The Axios headline of the Alex Eisenstadt article reads, Ted Cruz sets stage for 2028 run with Tucker jabs. Texas Senator Ted Cruz is laying the groundwork for a 2028 presidential bid by leaning into his feud with Tucker Carlson and staking out turf as a traditional pro-interventionist Republican. Why it matters, by poking at Carlson's isolationist foreign policy views, accusing him of anti-Semitism and more. Cruz is putting himself on a collision course with Vice President Vance, a Carlson ally widely seen as the 2028 GOP frontrunner. The senator also is diving into issues that are tearing at President Trump's movement, namely ideological differences over Israel. We have a responsibility to speak out, even when it's uncomfortable, Cruz said in a statement to Axios. When voices in our own movement push dangerous and misguided ideas, we can't look the other way. I won't hesitate to call out those who peddle destructive, vile rhetoric and threaten our principles and our future. Silence in the face of recklessness is not an option. Cruz, the runner-up to Trump in the 2016 GOP primary, has been taking steps toward a presidential run. Cruz is set to host a donor retreat next year and has been hosting a top-ranked podcast and syndicated radio show, which has helped him build a formidable network for soliciting small-dollar contributors. The senator's chairmanship of the Commerce Committee has given him entree to major financial figures, as has his opposition to Trump's tariff policy. Cruz will need to reckon with a Republican primary electorate that has largely abandoned its George W. Bush-era support for an interventionist foreign policy in favor of the more isolationist America First approach that Carlson and Vance support. Initial polls show Vance as a big favorite in the 2028 GOP primary. Some GOP donors may be queasy about crossing the Trump White House and embracing a candidate other than Vance. Those are just the highlights. For the full story, visit Axios.com. Ted Cruz isn't suddenly growing a conscience or a spine. He's reading the political weather. Trump is becoming damaged goods, and Vance is vulnerable as the heir apparent to the MAGA movement. And Cruz, as the consummate political shapeshifter, he's positioning himself for the moment the base starts looking for a new, less extreme face. This moment matters because when a Trump sycophant like Ted Cruz starts peeling away, it signals something bigger. The pendulum has swung too far under the weight of MAGA, and it has to return to center somewhat. I don't know if the highly unlikable Cruz can distance himself far enough from the dumpster fire to be the savior, but his apparent betrayal of the Trump-Vance cabal is a satisfying thing to see.